Good morning, Mr. Cash. I'm Justine Bailey.
It's nice to meet you, Justine.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks for coming in. What can I help you with today?
Well, as you know, I called in. I injured myself at work. Essentially what happened is back in October 15th, 2010, I blew something out in my lower back. Now, I've talked to my union official. I told him all about it because ever since then, it's been nothing but a hassle. He gave me a copy of your green Rudberg Law comp book, and I've seen your posters around the hall. So I figured I'd give you a call and see if you could get things sorted out for me.
Oh, good. Well, can you tell me what happened?
What happened, indeed. Well, I was lifting and carrying pipes. Now, these aren't normal pipes you see every day. They're really long, weigh about 50 pounds, and are awkward to handle. I was putting them on a conveyor belt, and the conveyor belt reversed all of a sudden, kicked that pipe back, twisted my lower back real good.
Oh, my. Well, did you give notice to your employer about your injury?
Oh, yeah. I gave notice. They have one of those recording systems like everybody does nowadays. Well, the Monday after the injury, and the injury was on a Friday, I called in, got the recording, and left a message. Well, they must have got the message because a few days later, HR calls me, and they tell me that they did some sort of reenactment or something. They tell me, we couldn't get that conveyor belt to reverse. Well, that's not a surprise. But anyways, they say because they couldn't get it to reverse, they don't believe what I said happened, or even could happen.
But you weren't present for that reenactment?
No, I wasn't invited to attend that.
Oh, my God. Well, have you received any treatment?
Yeah, I did receive some treatment, if you want to call it that, for the first 90 days. I mean, I did what I was supposed to, and I saw the panel physician, Dr. Wong, for those first 90 days.
You saw Wong?
Yeah.
Okay.
He gave me ibuprofen and ice packs, the standard treatment. Neither of those worked. He referred me for physical therapy, and that didn't do anything either. Well, he didn't really seem to like the fact that his laying hands on me didn't miraculously heal me. Because when I went back to tell him that none of this was working and I thought I needed an MRI, first thing he said is, when did you become a doctor? Then he says to me, if you were a good person, you do the right thing, and you just admit that none of this has anything to do with your job and it's just arthritis in your lower back, and you'd get back to work.
That's outrageous.
I'll tell you what, if I'd meet Dr. Wong in a back alley, I'd give him a come to Jesus moment.
Well, I assume you saw someone else. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. After my 90 days are up, I saw my PCP.
Okay.
Now, he's on the panel list too, but HR wouldn't allow me to see him. I mean, they went as far as to assign a nurse to me. Every time I wanted an appointment, anytime anything needed done, I had to call her first. She was like the gatekeeper or something. Well, that all stopped when I saw my PCP.
Okay.
First thing he did was order the MRI.
Good.
Next, he referred me off to Dr. Wright. I underwent back surgery with him about 3 months ago.
Oh, yeah? Well, how'd the surgery go? How are you doing since then?
Well, I'll tell you, my lower back's doing better. But
Good.
my right leg, I still have pain going down it.
Oh. Well, who's paid for treatment?
That's a good question. Comp, I thought initially, at least as to Dr. Wong. But I gave him my health insurance card, and since then I've paid a deductible, I've made co-payments, and I have unpaid bills coming in. And the thing about the unpaid bills is, I mean, I took those to HR, and they tell me, quote unquote, we'll take care of them. Well, ever since then, I've still been receiving the same unpaid bills, so I don't know what's happening there. In fact, let me see here.
Careful.
I brought my bag of unpaid bills with me.
Oh, good.
Oh, there's some tissues in there. Don't worry about those.
Are they used?
No.
Okay. Well, I'll give them to my assistant, so that'll be all right.
And you can keep those because, you know, I can't pay them anyway. So.
Okay. Well, what I'll do is I'll copy these, and we'll take care of these and make sure they get to where they need to go, and keep track of them. And if we file a claim petition for you, we'll make sure those bills get in front of the judge.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Now, have you been off work since your injury?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been off work since the injury.
Okay. Are you receiving any income? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm just receiving sick and accident benefits, that's it. And I'm barely surviving on that. And that's another thing I wanted to mention. When I went and applied for sick and accident at HR, they told me that by applying, I was admitting that I didn't have a work-related injury. Well, what was I supposed to do? I mean, I got to put food on the table. I got to put clothes on the kids' backs.
Oh no, that's a common tactic used by HR, but you did the right thing, and you still have bills to pay, and so when they don't pay you workers' compensation, filing for SNA is exactly what you should have done.
Well, that's what I was thinking, and I wanted to ask you, can I sign up for unemployment?
Does your doctor have you off work completely?
Yeah, Dr. Wright's had me off completely for a long time now.
Okay. Unfortunately, you cannot apply for unemployment compensation while your doctor has you off work completely. You have to be ready, willing, and able to work, and with you being off work completely, you're not. However, if your doctor would release you to some sort of minimal restrictions, like no lifting greater than 1 pound, then you may be eligible for unemployment compensation and could apply because you'd be ready, willing, and able to work within those minimal restrictions.
Okay, all right. Well, that's not at this point yet. I guess we can look at that down the road then.
Sure. What about Social Security disability? Have you applied for that?
No, I haven't applied for that. I mean, I thought you had to be permanently disabled, so I don't consider myself permanently disabled. I haven't applied.
Well, actually, in order to be eligible for Social Security disability benefits, you have to be off work or expect to be off work for a period of at least 12 months. And you've already been off work for 12 months.
That's true. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and apply, and I'll go ahead and help you with that process as well. We can help you with that.
Right. It's not too difficult, and you'll help me. I'll give it a try.
Yeah, I think it'd be good for you. Have you received any document from the Bureau of Workers' Compensation for your work injury?
No, I looked through my bag of important papers before I came in today, and I didn't find anything.
Okay. So, and they're not paying you any wage loss benefits or medical benefits. So, your injury's been deemed denied. So, we can go ahead and file a claim petition for you. And, Mr. Cash, if you need to stand up, please feel free to.
Stand up? I need to lay down.
Well, we're almost done, and I'll make sure I get you out of here quickly. But we can file a claim petition for you. And all that's going to be important there is that your doctor, and you're seeing Dr. Wright, be able to support that your need for surgery is because of what happened at work on October 15th.
Well, Dr. Wright's a really good guy, a little full of himself, but I think he'll go to bat for me. The only thing is I imagine this is going to be very expensive, and I just don't have the money to cover anything from him right now.
Don't you worry about that. We advance all costs. I'll contact him and get a report from him. And then once we do, we'll be able to file a claim petition for you.
That's a load off my shoulders. That's good.
Yeah, all you need to do is concentrate on your treatment and getting better. And once we do file the claim petition, you're going to get a copy of that. We're going to get a notice of assignment to tell us which judge is assigned to our case. And then that judge will issue a notice as to when the first hearing is. And we'll contact you along the way before that first hearing so you're aware of the process and the progress that we're making. And we'll see each other at the first hearing as well.
All right, so you'll be in touch with me before then?
Absolutely, yes.
All right.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Good. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you, Mr. Cash. Thank you for coming in.
Oh, thank you very much.
Good morning. I'll call the case of Jonathan Cash versus Pennsylvania 2. Parties, can you please identify yourself for the record?
Justine Bailey for the claimant, Your Honor.
Harry Lafferty on behalf of Pennsylvania Tube and its insurance carrier.
Looks like there's a claim petition and a penalty petition filed by Attorney Bailey.
Yes, Your Honor.
At this time, I'd like to take exhibits.
Your Honor, we have the report of Dr. Michael Wright, Mr. Cash's treating surgeon.
Is this period more than 52 weeks?
Yes, it is.
Then we'll need to take depositions. Any
Okay.
objections to this report?
Hearsay, Judge.
That'll be not admitted at this point. Do you have any exhibits?
Yeah, I'd like the notice of denial to be marked for the record, please.
We'll mark this as Bureau Exhibit number 1. Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor. Actually, it forms the basis of our penalty petition as the employer and its insurance company failed to issue Bureau documents within 21 days.
Oh, I'll make note of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you ready to proceed with testimony?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll swear the witness. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You may proceed.
Thank you. Can you state your full name for the record?
It's Jonathan Cash. You can call me Johnny, though.
Okay, Johnny. Who's your employer?
Pennsylvania Tube.
How long have you been employed there?
Well, be about 8 years this December.
Oh. And did you sustain an injury at work on October 15th, 2010?
I sure did.
And can you explain to the judge how that happened?
Sure. Well, Judge, I was working night shift and I was working alone. And, I guess what it boils down to, part of it anyways, is I was doing a job myself that 2 men should have been doing. What I was doing was I was taking lengths of pipe off the pile, carrying them a short distance, and then putting them on a conveyor belt. Now the conveyor belt hauled them off to a shipping department in some other part of the plant. Well, I got to this one length of pipe, and this pipe's not regular pipe. This pipe's about 20 feet long, weighs about 50 pounds a piece. Got to that length of pipe and I picked it up, and the way you have to, move my leg here and I'll show you. The way you have to pick the pipe up is you have to grip real hard onto the one end and you put the end furthest away from you. Remember, it's 20 feet long, down on the other end of the conveyor belt. Well, I picked a piece of pipe up, I'm putting it down on the conveyor belt like this. All of a sudden, as soon as I touched that end of that conveyor belt reversed. And it jerked, kicked that pipe back real hard, twisted me and twisted my lower back.
And Mr. Cash, can you describe what type of symptoms you had when you were first injured?
Well, initially, first thing that happened was I heard a pop in my lower back, and it was loud. Never had that happen before. Then I had lower back pain. It was pretty painful, but the real pain was going down my right leg, and I've never experienced pain like that before.
Did you give notice of your injury to your employer?
Oh yeah, I gave notice of injury to my employer. Hell, like everybody these days, they've got some kind of recording system. You call in, you get a recording. Well, I called in the Monday after, left a message, told them I injured my lower back lifting pipe at work on Friday.
And have you sought treatment for your injury?
Yeah, I sought treatment. The initial 90 days, if you want to call it treatment, was with Dr. Wong, the panel physician. After that, I saw my primary care physician and actually started getting some decent care. He sent me for an MRI. And I went to some physical therapy before that, I think. But anyways, after the MRI, I got sent to Dr. Wright. And Dr. Wright performed low back surgery on me, and now I'm in physical therapy again.
Mr. Cash, have you underwent any low back treatment to your low back prior to October 15th?
Absolutely not. I've never had a problem with my low back prior to this.
Does your doctor currently have you on restrictions for your work injury?
Yeah, Dr. Wright says that I can't work at all.
Have you been off work since your date of injury?
I've been off work ever since the date of injury. In fact, Dr. Wright says that he intends to keep me off work.
Are you receiving any income?
Just sick and accident. I'm barely surviving on that.
And who's paying your bills?
That's a good question. I thought comp at first. But since I turned in my health insurance card, I've paid co-payments, I've paid deductibles, and I've got a bunch of unpaid bills that I turned over to you when we met.
Okay. And for the record, your deductible is about $1,500?
Yeah, it's $1,500.
Okay.
I actually have the check for that. I can get it to you.
Okay, we'll submit that later on. Mr. Cash, those are all the questions I have for you. Mr. Lafferty's probably going to ask you some.
Mr. Lafferty, it's your witness.
Mr. Cash, there were no witnesses to this alleged occurrence, were there?
You mind give me just a minute. Judge, my leg's really hurting here.
That's fine. You
I
can
gotta,
stand up if you need.
I gotta stretch it out. No, I think I'll be all right. Don't want to pull a hammy sitting here. What was the question you asked anyways?
There was nobody around when this allegedly happened, was there?
No, I was working alone, so there wasn't anybody around.
You're aware that your employer has a policy that requires you to report an injury immediately after it happens?
They have lots of policies. Yeah, I'm aware of it.
But you decided not to follow that policy when this allegedly happened, right?
I didn't decide to follow or not follow any policy. I was working. I thought this would go away. Thought it was just a pulled muscle or something. And another thing is I'm not a complainer. I mean, I've worked through pain before, so I thought I could just do it again. And also, I did tell the night foreman, but I don't remember his name. I've never met the guy before.
All right. You testified on direct examination that you've never had any prior low back treatment, correct?
That's correct.
You understand that you're under oath today, right?
Thank you for reminding me of that. That's helpful.
You've never had any prior chiropractic treatment to your low back prior to this injury.
Objection, it's been asked and answered, and quite frankly, he's harassing the witness.
It's cross-exam, we'll allow it.
I wouldn't have answered no to your last question if I had, would have I?
Very well, Mr. Cash. I believe you also indicated that this injury happened on a Friday, is that correct?
That's right.
What did you do that weekend?
Couldn't do anything. Stayed in bed the entire weekend, put ice on my lower back. That's about it.
So you stopped working on that home remodeling project that had been going on?
You know about that then, huh? But listen, I was doing home remodeling before this. The house is in disrepair. What can I say? I got a bunch of kids. But after this injury, I haven't been able to do any home remodeling. I haven't been able to do anything.
How about the basketball league that you participated in with your coworkers? You've been able to play those games, right?
Now, what does that have to do with this?
I'm asking the questions, Mr. Cash.
Now, I'll tell you, I'm in a basketball league. And maybe I played basketball since this injury. But it was just once. It was just to see if I could do anything. Try to loosen this up or something. But I had a lot of trouble. I couldn't play anyways.
All right. Those are all the questions I have, Judge.
We'll proceed then with depositions. Claimant, you'll take your deposition first. What are your plans, defense? Are you going to have an exam?
Judge, yeah, we're going to have the claimant examined by an IME doctor. We'll do that within the next 45 days.
And we'll expect your deposition then shortly thereafter.
Okay.
We'll proceed after those depositions are completed to a mandatory mediation, so be prepared for that. And at this point in time, proceed with your case as instructed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Good morning, Dr. Ray. I'm Justine Bailey, and as you know, I represent Jonathan Cash.
Good morning.
We're here today to take your deposition in the case of Jonathan Cash versus Pennsylvania Tube. Could you state your name for the record, please?
Sure. Michael Wright, MD.
And Dr. Wright, can you explain your education and experience?
Yes, I received a Bachelor of Science degree in pre-med in 1992, and I graduated from medical school at the College of Philadelphia in 1996 and proceeded to do my residency in orthopedic surgery and neurosurgery at University Hospital in Pittsburgh. That ended in 2000, and at that time I entered into private practice.
Okay. And Doctor, are you board certified?
Yes, I am,
What specialty?
in neurosurgery, and that is since 2003.
Oh, okay. Now, do you understand that we're here today regarding your patient, Jonathan Cash?
Yes.
Were you given a history from Mr. Cash about a work injury that happened on October 15, 2010?
Yes, I was.
And what history were you given by Mr. Cash?
When I initially met Mr. Cash at our March 5th, 2011 examination, he explained to me that in the course of his employment with Pennsylvania Tube, he was handling a long length of pipe, approximately 20 feet in length actually, and he was taking these pipes and putting them onto a conveyor for processing through the plant. And he explained that he was holding one of these long lengths of pipe and moving it onto a conveyor. He was gripping the pipe tightly with both hands and oriented such that the conveyor was on his left. And as he was putting the pipe onto the conveyor apparently kicked back or reversed in some fashion, jarring Mr. Cash and causing twisting in his low back. And he reported that at that time he felt a pop in his lower back, as well as what we call radicular pain, which is pain shooting down into the right leg.
And doctor, do you have any understanding of any prior low back treatment Mr. Cash may have underwent prior to October 15th?
Yes, Mr. Cash explained to me that he did undergo some casual chiropractic treatment for regular aches and pain in his low back, but certainly nothing to the extent of the symptoms that he described to me following this work incident, and certainly nothing involving radicular pain into his right leg.
Okay. Doctor, do you have an opinion whether Mr. Cash sustained a low back injury on October 15, 2010 while working at Pennsylvania Tube?
Yes, I do.
And what is your opinion?
I believe that he did sustain a work injury at that time.
And doctor, what is the nature of that injury?
Mr. Cash suffered a L5-S1 disc herniation resulting in spinal stenosis and aggravation of his pre-existing degenerative disc disease.
Doctor, what is your basis for that opinion?
That basis is based on the mechanism of injury as described to me by Mr. Cash, as well as my review of his diagnostic studies involving MRI and X-ray, and my course of treatment with him over a period of several weeks and months, and of course my surgery and my ability to view his internal structures as well.
Doctor, is it even possible